Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at, well, the future, basically.
Yeah,
At least the future, according to AI.
the AI future.
Yeah, we're focusing on the latest AI news and developments. All from this week's Increase Your ZAKA newsletter. It's dated January 26, 2025.
Oh, I saw that one. Lots to unpack there.
Absolutely. OpenAI's venture into longevity research. A massive new infrastructure project. Even a chatbot that's learning to talk.
Sounds like they're covering all the bases.
Should we just jump right in?
Let's do it. What caught your eye first?
Well, OpenAI is making moves into longevity research, teaming up with Retro Biosciences.
Longevity research, huh? Interesting. What are they up to?
They're developing a new AI model. It's called GPT-4b Micro, and it's going to try to find protein variations.
Protein variations.
Yeah, ones that could rejuvenate human cells. Potentially, anyway.
So using AI to fight aging.
Sounds crazy, right?
Definitely ambitious.
But Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, is putting his money where his mouth is.
Oh, yeah? How so?
He just invested $180 million of his own money into Retro Biosciences. He's really convinced about the potential of AI here. He keeps saying AI is the key to achieving AGI.
AGI.
Artificial General Intelligence. Basically, AI that can do any intellectual task a human can.
Right, right. So Altman's thinking is if we can figure out aging, that's a big step toward AGI.
That seems to be his thinking. It's like, crack the code of aging and AGI will follow. It's definitely a bold statement.
It is, but I mean, AI is incredible at analyzing data, finding patterns that humans might miss. So maybe he's onto something.
It makes you think, though, could figuring out how to live longer really be the key to unlocking AGI? I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a really complex issue. AI can definitely accelerate scientific discovery, that's for sure. But the link between longevity and AGI, I think that's more of a question mark. We're still in the very early stages of understanding aging, and AI for that matter.
True.
But it's fascinating that someone like Altman is so invested in this idea. Definitely something worth exploring further.
Okay, so from living longer to building the infrastructure for the future of AI. This is a big one. The Stargate Project.
Stargate Project.
It's a $500 billion initiative spearheaded by OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank. They want to completely revamp AI infrastructure.
Whoa, $500 billion. That's a lot of zeros. What's actually involved?
They're building state-of-the-art data centers, boosting chip production, securing energy resources, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. Wow, they going all in on this, huh? Where are they building these data centers?
One of them is going to be 1 million square feet in Texas. 1 million square feet.
I can't even imagine. That's bigger than some small towns.
Right. And what's really interesting is they're not just relying on Microsoft anymore for their cloud computing.
Oh, that's a big change. Weren't they pretty much tied at the hip with Microsoft before?
Pretty much. But the Stargate project feels like they're moving toward a more open approach, more collaboration. Maybe they're learning from some of those concerns people had about being too reliant on Microsoft.
Could be. I mean, there were definitely worries about Microsoft having too much control, maybe even stifling competition. So if OpenAI is moving toward a more decentralized OpenAI ecosystem, that's big news.
Huge news. What do you think this more open approach means for AI development? Will it make it more accessible?
It's hard to say for sure, but it definitely could. I mean, if it leads to more innovation, more competition in the AI industry, that's great for everyone. Maybe smaller companies, researchers, even individuals will have a chance to get involved in AI development. It could be a real game changer.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Anthropic. They're the company focused on, as they put it, safe and beneficial AI.
Anthropic, yeah. They've got that chatbot, Claude, right?
That's the one. And get this, Claude's getting a voice, a two-way voice mode for more natural conversation.
Whoa, a talking chatbot. That's pretty wild. So you can just have a conversation with it like you're talking to a person.
That's the idea. And they're also adding a memory feature. So Claude can actually remember past conversations, use that context in future interactions.
Wow, that changes things. It's not just a one-off Q&A anymore. It's like an actual relationship.
You're getting there, right. It's kind of blurring the lines between talking to a machine and talking to, well, a person.
Definitely getting closer to that sci-fi vision of having real conversations with AI. I wonder how that's going to change things.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing to think about. But even with these advances, Anthropic CEO has been talking about their struggles with computing power. They're having a hard time keeping up with demand, which I guess isn't that surprising.
Yeah, I mean, these AI models are incredibly complex. They need a ton of computing power to run, let alone to train. It's a huge bottleneck for a lot of companies in the AI space. access to that level of computing power, it can make or break a company?
Well, it sounds like they just got a pretty big boost. They just secured another $1 billion investment from Google.
Didn't Google already invest a ton in Anthropic?
They did. $2 billion, actually.
Yeah.
So with this new investment, Google's put a total of $3 billion into Anthropic.
Wow. That's a serious vote of confidence. Google must see something special in Anthropic's approach. It kind of puts them in a head-to-head competition with OpenAI now.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. The race is on.
Speaking of races, let's do a rapid-fire round. Catch up on some other big developments in AI. First up, DeepMind. They're known for AlphaFold, that protein-folding AI.
AlphaFold, yeah, amazing stuff. What are they up to now?
They're launching a spin-off company. This one's focusing on drug trials, using AI to design them.
Whoa, using AI for drug trials? That could revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry. Imagine cutting drug development time from years to months.
Talk about a game changer.
Huge.
And then, of course, there's Elon Musk.
What's he up to now?
His company xAI is teasing the release of their newest chatbot, Grok 3.
Grok 3, another chatbot. What's so special about this one?
They claim it's more powerful than anything that's come before. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Another one to watch, for sure. It's getting crowded in the chatbot space. Lots of competition.
And speaking of competition, Huawei is making moves to challenge NVIDIA's dominance in the AI chip market, specifically in China, for now.
Really? I hadn't heard that. I mean, NVIDIA's been the king of AI chips for a while now. It'll be interesting to see if Huawei can actually make a dent.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Could have ripple effects throughout the whole industry. And back to OpenAI for a sec. They're working on a new tool called Operator. It's designed to handle tasks autonomously.
Autonomously? Like what kind of tasks?
Think coding, booking travel,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's all about automation, basically.
Interesting. So basically an AI personal assistant. Sounds like it has the potential to be really useful or really creepy, depending on how it's used.
You know, right? It's all about the implementation. Okay, let's move on to something a bit different. Tools designed to combat misinformation. It feels like we need them more than ever these days.
Absolutely. It's a constant battle to sift through all the noise and figure out what's real and what's not. So what tools are out there?
Well, there's ClaimBuster. It's like a digital detective for spotting false claims.
Okay, how does it work?
It analyzes text, looks for statements that might be false or misleading, flags them for further fact-checking.
Sounds pretty useful.
It is, especially for journalists and researchers, anyone who needs to quickly assess the validity of a claim.
But I guess it's not perfect, right? It can't actually tell you if something is true or false, can it?
No, it's more like a first line of defense, a way to highlight potential issues that need further investigation.
Makes sense. What else is out there?
Then there's FactMata. It's another tool for combating misinformation, but it takes a slightly different approach. It uses natural language processing to identify harmful or untrustworthy online content.
So instead of fact-checking specific claims, it's more about identifying potentially dangerous content.
Exactly. It's like a filter for your online experience, helping you avoid content that might be misleading or harmful.
That's a good way to put it, like a safety net.
Now, Full Fact is really interesting. They're focused on real-time fact-checking, especially during live events.
Live events, like what?
Political debates, speeches, things like that.
I see. So they're trying to catch misinformation in the moment before it spreads too far.
Exactly. They use AI to monitor what's being said, and then they quickly verify facts and figures.
Oh, that's a big job, especially with the speed at which information travels online these days.
It is, but it's such a crucial task,
Yeah,
especially for holding public figures accountable.
absolutely. Can't let them get away with saying whatever they want without anyone checking the facts.
Then there's Bot Sentinel.
Bot Sentinel, what's that one all about?
It's pretty self-explanatory, actually. It's all about identifying bots, tracking their activity on social media, especially on Twitter.
Bots, right. They're everywhere these days. And they play a huge role in spreading misinformation, manipulating online discussions. It's hard to tell who's real and who's a bot sometimes.
That's exactly what Bot Sentinel is trying to address. They use AI to analyze accounts, figure out which ones are likely bots. It's a way to expose their influence and hopefully limit their impact.
Sounds like a valuable tool, especially with the upcoming elections. I can only imagine the bot activity that's going to be happening around then.
And finally, we have Media Bias Fact Check.
That one sounds interesting. What's their focus?
They use AI algorithms to assess the credibility of different news sources.
Oh, so they're trying to help people figure out which news sources to trust.
Exactly. They look at things like factual accuracy, political bias, the use of loaded language, all that stuff. It's a great resource for understanding the potential biases of different media outlets. Helps people become more critical consumers of news and information.
That's so important these days. With so much information coming at us from all directions, it's hard to know who to trust. A tool like that can be a real lifesaver.
All right, let's shift our focus one last time. Let's talk about education. There's this tool called LessonWriter, and it's pretty cool. It can take any text, like an article or a story, and turn it into a full-fledged lesson plan.
Seriously, that's amazing. So you could take like a news article about a current event and turn it into a teaching tool.
Yep, exactly. It's designed to be super easy to use, and it's customizable, so teachers can adapt it to their specific needs.
This could be huge for teachers. Think of all the time they could save. And it could make it easier to integrate current events into the classroom.
Right. It's not just about saving time, though. It's about empowering teachers to create more engaging and effective learning experiences. And it could be really valuable for students, too.
How so?
Well, imagine a student who's struggling with a particular concept. LessonWriter could help them by providing additional explanations, practice activities, things like that.
It's like having a personal tutor built right in.
Exactly. It's really exciting to think about the possibilities.
Yeah, AI for education, that's a whole new frontier.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where this all goes.
It is. It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Just the beginning.
So what can our listeners do? How can they be more proactive in this rapidly changing landscape?
Well, I think the first step is to stay curious. Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one, attend webinars. There's so much information out there. Make time to learn, to explore, to stay up to date on the latest developments.
And don't just be a passive observer. Get hands-on. Experiment with some of the AI tools we've talked about. Play around with a chatbot. Try out a fact-checking tool. Explore an educational platform like LessonWriter. The more you interact with these technologies, the more comfortable you'll become.
Exactly. And as you're interacting with them, think critically. Don't just accept everything at face value. Question the assumptions. Consider the potential biases. Think about the broader implications. Be a discerning consumer of information and technology.
I love that. Be a discerning consumer. We can't just blindly trust everything we're told or everything an algorithm spits out. We need to engage our brains, be skeptical, be thoughtful.
Well said. And remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating collectively through our choices, our actions, our engagement. So let's make sure we're creating a future that we want to live in, a future that benefits all of humanity.
That's a powerful message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of AI. We hope you've learned something new, gained some valuable insights, and maybe even sparked some new ideas.
It's been a pleasure exploring these topics with you. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Stay curious, stay engaged, and let's continue to learn and grow together as we navigate this exciting and ever-evolving technological landscape.